What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Everybody Podcast, and this episode is sponsored by Everything HBCU The Collection.
Yep.
We got some fire merch from them, illustrious Alabama A&M. If you want any HBCU apparel, definitely check them out. Support the HBCU movement, or shout out to your own HBCU college.
Now let's get back to the episode.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the Everybody Podcast. My name is Cam C. Today we have a special guest by the name of Faith Gatson. Faith Gatson, could you do us the honors of introducing yourself?
Okay, you want the bulldog intro?
Give us like the TV intro.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Faith G.
Okay.
What else am I supposed to say? I'm very involved on campus. So
Okay.
I'm happy to be here. That's the only intro I'm used to doing.
She said I'm too much of a G to you. You know me already.
Please.
So you involved on campus doing what?
I'm in the university choir. I am a member of the university's honors program. I'm in Women of Worth. And I'm currently serving as the reigning Miss Soul.
Question: before you leave here, could you sing for us? I really want to hear somebody sing.
Absolutely not.
What? What do you guys have against singing in public?
Yeah, I just watched Madison's podcast. I was trying to get her to do everything. I'm like,
That wasn't me.
No,
I was just listening.
If you're
I was
the
just
talent,
here.
if you're the talent, share it with the world and share it on our podcast.
probably not.
That's crazy.
Would you go full time music?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
You said absolutely not.
No.
You're a really good singer.
I do, thank you, but I do that strictly for entertainment purposes. Even with my campaign stuff, people have been like, I'm trying to get in the studio with you. What do you charge for background? But this is literally entertainment stuff, and people have really been trying to book me and stuff. And I sing for enjoyment, so I don't really do competitions and talent shows either. I don't major in music because I don't want to be critiqued on music. I don't want to be critiqued on something that I just like to do for enjoyment. I always feel like there's definitely room for improvement in every aspect.
Yeah.
But as far as going full time, the music industry is a cold world, right? And so working so closely in it with events and projects and stuff with my sister is kind of I don't want to be on the other end of that. Just witnessing, I'm it's a lot. It's a lot to maintain. It's a lot to uphold the standard of who people want you to be. And that's definitely something that I've had a glimpse of with royalty and student leadership in general. So being able to experience that early on and then imagining a life of that, a life of people watching you all the time, a life of people just waiting for you to make the wrong move. Yeah. Can't do it.
So would you say you care what other people think, or you are super conscious of oh my god, because you quote unquote in the spotlight on campus, and all this stuff? Do you have this sort of conscious to oh my god, I care what people think, I gotta look this, I gotta do this and that?
Absolutely. But I think that a lot of people can respect me because I am who I am, right? It's never a facade, it's never anything fake, and it's always Faith G gonna be Faith G at the end of the day. So even with student leadership, I never want people to feel I think I'm so high and mighty that I can't go to parties, or I can't be on the quad, or I think I'm too good to go in the cab. I always like to have high interaction with the student body because I feel that's the best way to figure out what the students need. Because if you're not in tune with the student body, you're making decisions on your behalf, and you're making decisions about what you want to do. I was also on the Retool Your School committee with Home Depot, where we have to use the hashtag and repost and different stuff like that. And when they asked me to be on the committee, they was okay, we wanted a couple students on the committee to see what we should do with the money. And it was my idea to put a survey out to the general student body because I'm I can tell you what I think the students want, but at the same time, why not ask them? Because nobody's going to be able to tell you better than them. And of course, some people didn't really understand what the money could be used for. So some people was asking for CARES Act and stuff like that. But you literally have to use the money from Home Depot.
Yeah.
So just being able to take those considerations and stuff from the student body, I definitely always monitor, what I do, what I say, because positions are temporary, titles are temporary, they can all be taken away, but how you make people feel will never be forgotten. So I definitely always try to make sure that I greet people with a smile, always just interacting with the student body, and that's what I find joy in. That's why I keep going. That's why I never give up, because just seeing how many people I make happy, it just
Make sure.
Okay. So with the music, you said it's something you just enjoy. Have you ever been in a situation where you had to where something you enjoyed became work?
Yeah.
Where?
I think the closest relation to that would be student leadership as well. It's not a job. We don't get paid for it, but if that's something you like to do, it becomes a full-time job. And even just with singing, if people have asked me to sing somewhere and ended up trying to pay me or for the work that I've done, that's when it got serious. That's when it's okay, now you on our time. So you gotta show up when we say show up. In my high school years, I did my first professional production at our local theater company, and we ended up traveling to Washington and Birmingham and performing for elected officials like John Lewis and Terry Sewell. So just different people, and we weren't getting paid for the professional theater. So what I came into thinking it would be oh, this is just fun theater. I'm making history because it's definitely the first time any, high school student has done these type of things. And then it was yeah, y'all on the clock. So it was kind of similar. I've never been on Broadway before, but I have friends. One of my friends is on Lion King Broadway right now, and then one of them did The Wiz. So it's just seeing the life that they live. It's yeah, this is kind of like being on Broadway. You came into it thinking it was fun, but this is a job. You are going to show up when we say show up. You got to be on point because that's your job. So it's I think it's more so, I don't want to call it a job. I really want to more so call it a career.
Yeah.
Because I've had a job before. And having a job is not fun. Doing anything. I always tell people the moment I stop having fun with it, I'm going to be done with it. And that goes for student leadership. That goes for community service. That goes for real life. Because if you're not finding joy in what you're doing every day, you're not going to have any motivation to get up and do it every day. So I definitely have been in this situation to where it has become work and it's become strictly business. So I've been on both ends of the spectrum.
That makes sense. I mean, I understand. So now I'm looking at it, and obviously you have internal experience from friends, and you see how things like that work. So if you had if God was here right now, and you're what kind of life do you want to live? Because most of the time you've said, oh, you've seen how their life really is, and you're I don't really want that no more. What kind of life do you want? What's your model life? What does it look like?
That's a really good question that I've never really been asked before, because I feel like the reason that we don't know the way our life is planned out is because God wants us to believe in Him and have faith in Him and trust Him in His plans for our life. So if He automatically told us exactly how our life is going to plan out, we never worry, we never pray to Him, we never literally consult Him about anything, because it's well, I know it's going to work out in the end, right? And I think one of the closest examples to that would be me coming into high school, and I was applying for so many scholarships. My brother is 14 months apart from me, and he was already at A&M, and so my mom was paying for him to come here to A&M, and it was they then realized how expensive college was. I'm not gonna say my mom forgot, because she definitely went to she went to Grambling, and she was paying out of pocket for her to go to school. So definitely the prices have gone up. But I was there's no way I can expect for my mom to have to pay for college for me as well as my brother. So I started applying for so many scholarships. Literally, I came in. Well, my senior year was spent in COVID, so it's I literally had all the time in the world. All I would do was apply for scholarships, go to work, buy shoes. I wasn't even buying clothes, because I'm not going nowhere, you know what I'm saying, to have to do that. So I was literally just blowing money and applying for scholarships because I had it and I had the time to do. And I was getting denied for so many. And I'm okay, not to toot my own horn or anything, but it's like I know I'm an exceptional student. I know I'm active in my community. I know I'm active in my church home. So what is it about me that's not good enough, or what is it about the other students that they're putting down on these applications that I'm not putting down? And it's just like I had everything planned out to the T. Like I was gonna take my ACT one more time, and I was gonna apply for this many scholarships before December. And January came. I had not taken my ACT again. I had not even applied to the schools that I wanted to go to, but I had been applying for those scholarships. And so January came, still getting denied. So then it started to be like March, and I started to panic because I'm like, it's March, National Decision Day is May 1st. I have no idea where I'm going, and I also don't have any money to go anywhere. So then God just starts showing me a sequence of congratulations, a sequence of validation, a sequence of you've been accepted. And I'm like, okay, like if I knew it was gonna work out like this, I might not have worried as much as I did, but that was literally all a part of the master plan. And the reason that I kept going so hard, God is literally rewarding me now because I don't have to work in college, and I'm able to live comfortably off of those scholarships when I was going hard, thinking I wasn't good enough, thinking I wasn't gonna get any money to be able to go to school. And now I'm going to school for free, and I'm literally living off of refund checks. So that's
Amen, sister.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's so amazing.
That's true though. But if you could put someone in sort of the similar situation you were in before, what would you tell them? Like, what resources would you share with them? What would you give to them to kind of be in your show, like getting refund checks and living lavish?
I would tell them, and this is something I've been telling a lot of people, because even for like now that it's campaign season, a lot of people have been seeing my campaign on TikTok, and they've been contacting me via Instagram saying, hey, how to do this? I want to do this. What would be your advice? And the same thing I tell them for campaign season is what I would tell them throughout their 4 years or however many years in college, is run your race, right? It literally has to be you versus you. And once you run your race, and once you can't look right and you can't look left, you can't worry about how far somebody else has gotten. When you run your race, things will be so much better. You literally have to lock in, and you have to have tunnel vision, and you just got to be like, this is what I'm going to do for myself. And once you do that and block out all the distractions and realize that nothing else is more important than success, life will really turn around. So it's just like, you gotta block out the noise, and you gotta block out the distractions. So definitely just going hard, and like I said, remembering what's important, remembering that there is an end goal. Like college is fun, partying is fun, all this other hype that everybody want to be into, all of that is fun. But at the end of the day, when everybody else is walking across the stage, then you like, okay, well, maybe they was locked in and I ain't still being locked in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can literally, that's one thing I admire about A&M. You can see somebody in the club every single weekend. They can have a 4.0 GPA. But you wouldn't know that because you're just like, all they do is party. The whole time, they in the room grinding. You know what I'm saying? So, I just think everybody... I just think that everybody, you have to run your own race. And I think comparison is the thief of joy. And so when you compare yourself to other people and you compare yourself to other people's journey, then you'll feel like you're behind. You'll feel like you're missing out on a whole lot of stuff, when in reality, that's just not what God has for you, right? And I see you making it to the end, to the finish line and finishing the race, but your route might have been different from somebody else. Somebody else might have got straight to the finish line, but you had to go through obstacles and stuff. But that also makes your testimony greater, because it's like, I didn't just go straight to the finish line. Like, some people have kids, and some people go through depression, and some people lose family members. So all of that makes the success story even greater. So yeah, definitely.
Are you a preacher's daughter?
No, my goddad passed away 2021 December, and he was a preacher, so I'm definitely like, my goddad was like my real dad. So it's like, we're definitely locked in.
Would you ever be in ministry?
No.
I feel like you'd be a good minister.
I think that's a bad question to ask people, because everybody runs away from their calling, right? So I'm not in denial, but it's like, nobody wants to live that life. Nobody's just out here being like, I want to preach. I mean,
I know somebody who does.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I could think of a couple.
Yeah, I know a couple right now.
I know a couple right now.
It's insane, because it's just like, no way.
I think they just accepted it.
Okay.
You know when, yeah, you know when you know when you're running away from something and you know it's always it just keeps coming back to you.
Oh, I definitely get it. I feel like I've been running away from my calling for a minute.
What would you say it is?
I don't whatever it is.
You just say you're running away from it.
Whatever it is, I'm literally trying to stay far.
You're running away from nothing.
Who knows?
You know.
So would you say you fear success or failure more?
This would be asking some very deep questions.
Yeah.
I can't forget them.
It's okay though. I think I fear success more because everybody's not as happy for you as you think they are. Right? And sometimes when you make it to a certain point in life, people act different. People think you change. When you really just have to live a different lifestyle, but everybody's not genuinely happy for you. And that goes along the lines of sometimes people just randomly ask random people to pray for them. And I'm like, I would never do that because you don't know what they sending up. They not sending up the right timber and you just going around asking people to pray for you and stuff. So I think success, because even then I never feel accomplished. After I do one thing, I'm on to the next thing, like trying to figure out how I can get that done, trying to figure out how I can succeed in that. So I'm not scared to fail because, like I said, with that journey and when you go through different obstacles to make the testimony greater, I feel like failure is a part of that, right? Like the highs and lows, the goods, the bads, everything in between makes you into the type of resilient leader that you are and the type of amazing leader that you are within your community, within your school, wherever you are. So I don't think people should be afraid to fail. So I think success would definitely be better.
So you're as an overachiever, like, do you ever get numb to your achievements? Because there's this phenomenon that overachieving people like tend to just ignore that achievement.
Absolutely.
Keep pushing.
Last week when I got awarded for the Dean's List, I was 0.6 away from being on the President's List. So I beat myself up about that because I'm like 0.6 is crazy. But the more I started thinking about it, and like when I was looking through the list of names, just looking for people that I knew, I'm like, it's not a lot of names on this list. And I'm like, am I underestimating myself? Like, did I just do my big one and I'm not even acknowledging that? You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I feel like people confuse confidence with cockiness. So I don't give myself credit. I really just let a whole lot of stuff ride. And sometimes people have to tell me, like, you're really that girl. And there's a thin line between walking in that and being cocky. So I just rather leave it alone altogether. But some of the stuff that I do, I'm truly amazed. Like, for my age and just where I am in life, I'm like, everybody can't say that that's their testimony. So definitely proud of myself. And sometimes I can definitely sit in it and reflect in it and just be proud. But at the same time, it's like, girl, you got something else to do. What's next? Like, that won't last forever. That's just like playing basketball. If you too busy celebrating after you done made a 2-point basket, the game is still going on. Like, you got to lock in. You got to keep going and make it to the next part. So I definitely do want to learn how to celebrate myself better and just stop and acknowledge that. You don't have to acknowledge it publicly, but it's like, congratulations to you, right? You don't have to look for congratulations or validation outside of yourself. You just like, you did that. You did your big one. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like I'm that type of person.
So you're achieving a lot, yeah? So what's like your self-care, like, routine or like activities?
I think for me, self-care, like I said, I don't really acknowledge the goodness of what I'm doing around campus, in my community. So I don't really have a form of self-care, unfortunately.
You don't?
No, like, and I like to get my hair done and my nails done,
Yeah,
my
that's good,
eyelashes
by the way.
done. Thank you. I like to do all of that on a regular basis, so I can't consider that self-care. My mom definitely does because she like, you spending money. But I don't. Like, when I can, I'll definitely like get a massage. But self-care for me, I can say, is not having anything to do. I could be in my room, I could be on TikTok, and I can just relax. I don't have any obligations. That is self-care. And I know it may sound bad. And honestly, I should do a much better job of self-care in general, because it's like, girl, celebrate yourself, relax. Like, But that's relaxation to me, like not having any obligations, not having to get up for anything, just being able to just rest for a day. And so I definitely need a lot more of those days, but things come up all the time, and that's how it is when you're involved. It's like, man, I didn't have nothing to do, or like sometimes like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I only have one class, and sometimes those can be my busiest days. And when the day ends, I'm like, how did I get here? Because literally none of this was supposed to go down today. So definitely just being able to take a rest and just not be obligated to do anything. But I usually do that like at the end of every school year. Like even when I travel during the school year with my friends, it's almost like we still have obligations. So it's not really a vacation because they always want to go somewhere or do something. I go on a vacation at the end of the school year where I'm not obligated to do anything, and I can just like be away. So
Would you say you're a yes person or a no person?
you said what?
Would you say you're a yes person or a no person? Meaning, do you say yes to everything that comes to your plate? Or are you good at turning things down, saying, hey, no.
Oh, I definitely say yes to everything. I say yes to everything, and Mom, if you're watching this, I definitely blame you. As a child, growing up in a very like traditional church within a traditional family, my mom never taught us how to say no. And that's just like my family in general, like my siblings, my closest, like my first cousins, they never taught us how to say no. If you can do something for somebody, if somebody is asking you to do something, say yes. But as a family, we all run ourselves into the ground. So it's like, we can't even take care of ourselves, or we can't even, do what we need to do for ourselves because we're always helping other people. So I definitely am a yes person. I have been trying to learn how to get out of that for years. And like I said, I blame my mom because there's just no easy way for me to tell people no. Like, how do you even be nice and say no?
Okay. Okay. So no. Okay. I say no when I need to, but I was gonna ask you a question because, okay, so there's a wise person I know who said, if you want to have friends, you need to be a friend. Actually, the wise person was you. You were the one who said that, and now I understand why you said that. So now the question is the yes thing a good or a bad thing in your perspective? Do you think it's really helped you or not helped you?
I think it can be a good and a bad thing, and it also depends on who you're helping. So whenever students come to the Hill, I always tell them, get involved, go to these events. And so whenever I'm able to help staff, administrators, students, any of those things, whenever I need help in return, I don't have to say, oh, remember I did it, because they already know. And it's like, not that I do favor for a favor. Like I said, you have to show yourself friendly to be a friend. So people remember those things that you do. Sometimes when you don't have time to do certain things, people remember when you bend over backwards and, help them out with everything they need. So I definitely think it can be a good thing. I think most of the times, in my favor, it works out good. But some people, unfortunately, take advantage of that, and you can't necessarily monitor that. I feel like God gave me a very good spirit for discernment, to know when people have good intentions or to know when people are like using me. But I don't usually encounter a lot of people that are using me because my intentions are so pure. So sometimes you meet somebody and you like, I don't care about how they feel, but sometimes when you meet somebody that's actually good and they do above and beyond for what you ask them to do, it's like, I can't even, I can't even do them like that because they wouldn't do me like that. So definitely I think that it usually works out in my favor, and just helping people whenever you can. You don't know what type of day people are having. You don't know how people mask what they have going on, in their personal life, with their families. And so just always being able to be a helping hand to somebody. People never, like I said, positions are temporary, titles are temporary, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I find joy in that, and I also get that from my mom. So, Mama, if you're watching this, like my mom, I feel like a lot of my blessings come from my mom because she's so good to people. She also doesn't tell people no. My mama is a dialysis patient going on like 11 or 12 years, and usually when people take dialysis, they get drained and they're not able to help a lot of people, and they have to have a lot of help. My mama go in the center at 5 a.m. and she'll be done by 10 a.m. She get out of the center drained from dialysis, going to help somebody else, So I think that God blesses me through my mom and my family. I'm grateful for that because people don't have to be good to you. So.
How would you describe your relationship with your mom?
My mom and I are besties.
But resty.
Yeah, like I think that when I was younger, I used to not really see it. And some of the stuff that she like didn't let me do or required for us to do, I never understood it. Like participating in church. It was always me and my brother. I'm like, somebody else has to be able to do this, right? But as soon as I came to college, I just realized how fortunate I was to be able to have my mom to make me do those things, because I've encountered so many students that can't do public speaking. And that's where it starts at.
Yeah.
Like people be like, it started at home. It also starts in the church. A lot of the things that I'm able to do, a lot of things that I'm capable of, I got from my church because my mama pushed me, and she, like, I didn't have a choice, right? Like I didn't have a choice to tell an adult no. Like some of those things I still feel from now, and like even with my dad, when he just pushes me and supports me in everything that I do, is just like, thank you for that, because a lot of people don't have that, right? Like even when I'm bringing my stuff up to school, when I need my parent for my final walk yesterday, what was that?
Like
Thursday?
2 days ago.
Yeah, I forgot my coronation dress. My parents had to bring it up here, like without them, you know what I'm saying? Certain stuff, I'm just like, we locked in, y'all. So I definitely wouldn't give all the credit to my mom, but just my village in general. Like both sides of my families are, my mom's side and my dad's side are very close knit. So I think that helps my village be even close. Yeah, because a lot of times when people's parents get married, their families have no type of correlation, like they don't know each other. So my family came from a family church. So it's like with them being even closer, I always got somebody to call on. So I appreciate everything.
Okay.
Would you raise your kids in like that sort of similar like mindset or like value system? Or would you say like you might differ a bit in their way?
Absolutely, because like I said, a lot of the things that my mom did, I didn't really understand. And so whenever, like how close my family is, whenever anybody's interested in me, if a guy's interested in me, his family plays a huge part in it. And I know sometimes that's like that's like a controversial topic, right? Because some people be like, oh, if his mom don't like me, I don't care. I saw what a strong village did for me. When people like, oh, I ain't talked to my mama in 5 days. What? You know what I'm talking every day for hours. Everybody, like we all, like me and my brother, me and my dad, like we always talk. So that close knit is something like that's non-negotiable. Like I can't, because I like I said, I see what that did for me. So it just, that's what it got to be.
How did that affect you though? Like starting in college. So so when you came to A&M, did you already have a village, or how did you build your village?
Yeah, so my brother, like I said, we're 14 months apart. So when I was a freshman, my brother was a sophomore. I have so many cousins that go here. I have family members that live in Huntsville as well. And even just Montgomery is small, right? So with any student that's from Montgomery, I definitely credit Mike and DJ. I hope y'all watched this. Mike and DJ definitely taught me how to milk the game. They taught me how to get in and interact with people, and just make your own way, for real. So it's like based off of them, I was able to grow and I was able to learn. Definitely like my cousin Nick, he introduced me to so many amazing people that would look out for me, because it's one thing to know people, but it's another thing to have people that you can depend on, people that you can call on. So I definitely had to do some of it on my own, and I'm grateful that I'm able to give some of those opportunities back, like to my brother or to my cousin, in return, right? Like some people they didn't know, or when it comes to like leadership or administration and stuff, they're like, well, I don't really know who to talk to. So I'm like, I can return the favors.
Yeah. So with that, would you like to stay in Montgomery or in Alabama, like after everything?
Absolutely not. I love my city.
Yeah.
Everybody that knows me know I go so hard for Montgomery. Anybody that's on the hill, if they're from Montgomery and I don't know them or they haven't like said to me that they're from Montgomery, I find it very insulting because I'm here for you. Like, why? Like, please be my friend. Like, I want to make sure everybody good because, like I said, they did it for me. So I'm like, you up here? Maybe you don't have a car. Maybe you like struggling to do anything. You don't have to do it alone. Like, we're a small city, so we definitely have to stick together. So I wouldn't stay in Alabama.
Where would you want to go to?
Probably Los Angeles with my sister.
I can see that.
She charted the path, so honestly, like, I'm filled, like, I'm surrounded by so many successful people. If I lose in life, it's because I didn't do the rest. Like, you know how they say faith without works is dead?
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't do my part. So I just don't see no way for me to lose, really. But Alabama isn't.
I can lose if I'm already chosen.
I don't think Alabama is a good. I don't think. I'm almost certain I won't be in Alabama after graduation. It was a good run.
We had a good time. Cheers.
Yeah. Well, a good time, not my bad. It's just like sometimes people, like, even when they come to college, just not even Alabama in general, Alabama A&M, people come to college and they become stagnant and they become like attached to the friendships that they made and stuff. But you gotta go. You gotta move on, man. So.
Do you ever not fear, but like, just like conscious of the fact that if you leave Alabama A&M, like most of your tight-knit friends are not going to be here. So you're not going to be like, hey, can you come bring my coronation dress? And it's like maybe like an hour, 2 hour drive. Do you ever think about that?
So yeah, because my best friend Farron is Miss Sophomore Alabama State, and our relationship is the same. But I'm definitely not the type of friend that you got to talk to every day or every 3 days or even every week, really, because we all have our own lives and we're all busy. So those are really the only type of friends that I need around me, because if you think we can talk 24/7, we can't. So I've already definitely, I won't say trained my friends, but I prepared them for that life of me being busy or me not being able to just sit on the phone, talk all day, text all day. So Farron and I's friendship has not wavered, not once. She's actually coming up here next weekend for Juice Jam. So we're gonna have fun.
I love Juice Jam. I love Juice Jam.
Our relationship has not been right. Okay, all right.
Pipe down now, bro.
Our relationship has not wavered, so definitely I think that's a good start and a good test of a friendship to see if that same loyalty can remain. It seemed like we still in Montgomery, like chilling. When we talk on the phone, it's always the same. Like, we can always pick up where we left off. So I think it'll be fun.
Do you want to what's the name? I had this question in my head. So with the Montgomery thing, right? How do you put people on, like, if they don't want to get put on?
You don't want to.
Yeah. So like, let's say, so you know the person, you're like, I want to be your friend. Like, I'm from Montgomery, and then they see you and you're like, hey, I don't really fuck. Maybe they heard something, maybe about one of their friends. You were messing with one of their guy friends, and then now they're like, I don't really like Fake G. How do you deal with that?
I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not gonna say everybody just loves me, but I'm not the drama type. I'm not like, I don't get into it with people.
Yeah.
So I haven't encountered that a lot, but I think even like in past relationships or just with guys in general, even if they were acquainted with somebody that I have just met, or they just came to the hill or something, after a while they begin to develop their own perception of me, because it's like, okay, maybe that didn't work out, but at the same time, this is a phenomenal girl, and I would, if it was the shoe on the other foot, I would want to be involved with somebody like that. So it's like, it's no telling what she can actually do for me. So let me get my own perception of who she is and how she treats people, and I'm sure they haven't been wrong yet if they've gave it a try. So
Is your perception of yourself, do you think it's the same as the perception of the way people see you?
No, I don't give myself credit for anything. I think that people think a lot more highly of me than I do myself. Like
Why
I
is
said,
that?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't have really time to bask in my greatness.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm grateful for a lot of people being in my life, from my family, my friends, my supporters, because sometimes they literally stop me. They're like, "Hey, you're doing an amazing job." So I definitely think that people, I mean, like I said, you're not put on this world for every single person to like you. So some people might confuse the confidence with the cockiness. I don't think that happens often, but even then, I feel like the way that I set the tone with people, I've never heard that. So maybe everybody just keep it cute because I keep it cute. I don't know, but
And any advice, any thing you want to put on to the youngins watching this?
I think I would really say, like, again, run your race, right? Sometimes we can be so easily distracted by what everybody else is doing. That's not gonna help anybody. Run your race, like your story. I was reading Becoming by Michelle Obama.
Okay.
Love that book. And one of my favorite things that I hold on to that she says in that book is, your story is what you have, what you will always have. It is something to own. Right? So it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what people think you're capable of. It doesn't matter what type of mistakes you've made in the past. You're able to start over as many times as you want to. And I just think that that's something that I want everybody to remember. It doesn't matter what people are used to from you. It doesn't matter the generations and the years of what your family has done. You are able to break those cycles and you're able to become greatness. As long as you put your mind to it and just having the mindset of wanting to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, I really think that that'll take anybody far.
Okay, so we have a tradition at the end of the podcast where we have a creative. So you choose a creative in mind. First person that came to your mind: a photographer, entrepreneur, dancer, singer. You could shout out yourself. It could be anybody.
Y'all know about this whole interview. I wouldn't do that.
But yeah, just give us one creative, and then give us their Instagram where we can find them, and then tell us where we can find you.
And also sing for us.
Absolutely. I would say my sister. I literally don't know where I would be without her guidance, without her paving the way, without her just getting up one day being like, I'm gonna move to Los Angeles, and we was just like, I feel like I am because she is, and her Instagram is @ELLTheArtist, @ELLE the artist, and I'm just so grateful for everything that she has done, every sacrifice that she has made to make me who I am today, always saving me a seat at the table, always making sure that I'm good. Like, I literally, that's my girl.
What does she do?
She basically does events for celebrities and large scale brands. So
Okay.
that's how I'm always at the table, man.
Okay.
You gonna give us a ticket to one of these events? Best.
I definitely plan to do, more raffles throughout the year. So y'all just stay tuned.
Just stay tuned. But yeah, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram @FaithLaurenG. I think that's the easiest way. I am on TikTok, y'all, but I don't be on TikTok.
She definitely dances.
What?
I'm just messing with you.
Let's be real. We don't be everything. But yeah, Instagram is the easiest way to find me @FaithLaurenG.
Yep. Okay, so it's the end of the podcast, man. It's been.
It is so.
Is that your?
Yeah. Yes.
Is that?
I got it. I finally got it.
Wow. He fooled you, man. He made you sing.
But I think that wasn't every time something comes to mind and I can think of a song that correlates, I'm definitely gonna sing the song. Every single time I'm gonna sing it.
He said he's gonna bring up another scenario for you. Hey, but it's been a great episode, man.
Yeah. Thanks for
It's
coming
been nice having you here, man. Big G, the one and only. Okay.
Yeah.
I told you should be on TikTok, yeah. But hey, once again, thank you for taking your time to come here. Thank you for coming on the Everybody Podcast. And as usual, I am DKMSI, THEKMSI on Instagram.
Change your Instagram name. That's what weird.
That's the same thing, bro. It's been this. Just tell them who you are. Bro.
Oh God, please.
You put in the script.
Somebody cut the camera. They can't handle it.
No, you put in the script. You never said that before.
THEKMSI.
Oh.
That's just the spelling of the Kamsi.
No, because you never really said that on the
Oh, I never spelled it before.
Yeah, it said like, wait, why?
I'm not gonna cut this out. I'm definitely not gonna cut this out because I'm like, what is happening here?
Because we always end the same way.
Oh yeah.
See,
It's just a remix, man. It's just a remix. Go with the flow, cuz.
I don't want to tell the people who you are.
I'm sorry. I don't know. You know when I start laughing, I can't stop.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm sorry. Bro, don't make me laugh, bro.
I'm definitely not gonna end this. But go on.
Okay, you can find. Sorry, I'm a very bad laugher. You can find me at Olashibomi Olapo. It was nice.
And you think they're gonna know how to spell that?
I should probably change my Instagram name. I don't know.
It's gonna be down.
It's
I
gonna
got you. I got you.
But now it's my first and last name. Olashibomi Olapo.
But yeah.